talking about these cringe stories from back in that era, it reminded me of another gem that hasn't been told to a lot of people.
It wasn't supposed to see the light of day again, but it may have to.
Because here's the thing. One, I was hanging out with my nephew, with my parents the other day, and my nephew, for those that don't know, is 17, turning 18, and he's going off to college soon, and, me and him, we're pretty close. We've talked a lot about things. Some things we never talked about. There's some stories that I just didn't tell him. Well, he's learning a lot of things about me as I tell you all very unfortunately cringe stories, like the McDonald's story of recent weeks. So he's learned a lot about me. I apologize to my family for telling this one too, but this is another thing that I did when I was very young and I should not have.
I'm so glad. I don't know which one it is, but I want to hear it again.
So it was actually with one of the friends. Like I said, in grade 6, I hung out with those 3 kids across town. Now, me and one of the guys, we were pretty close, and I would go to his house all the time. And now, this is back in the early stages of the internet. Like I said, we're in grade 6. I don't even remember how old you are to be in grade 6, like 11, 12?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. We have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Like, I know how to use computers, but, like, as far as, like, the internet, they're like, be careful, don't go to chat rooms. Chat rooms are scary, because that's where you're going to meet pedophiles, right?
See, it was always I always heard that, but it was always towards girls, don't go to chat rooms. Because guys, at that time, they were going to chat rooms to convince girls to try and to do the opposite thing. That was always what I heard from people.
Okay. So, I was, I never really went to chat rooms because, like, my parents were kind of on that too. They said, like, don't go on chat rooms. Yeah. We don't want you on those websites. And I was like, whatever. I don't need chat rooms. I had enough friends on my MSN. Like, I don't need to find random strangers to talk to. Not to mention, at this point, I don't even know what chat rooms are. Well, like, sorry, not what they are. I don't know where they are. Like, what are the websites? I'd have to Google it because I just didn't know them off the top of my head. Now, grade 6, definitely interested in girls at this point. Do I want to see girls naked? Yes, absolutely. Am I really, am I attracted to girls my age? Yes. I don't really think to myself that trying to see a girl that's 13 while I'm 13, I don't really think of that as suspect because we're the same age. But
well, at that time, it's not really suspect.
Reflecting on it now, though, it sounds hella suspect.
Well, talking about it as 28-year-olds, it feels suspect because you're going to have to say words about this 13-year-old
I'm going to have to say things that I did, but I want to preface this that I was like 13, between 11 and 13, and I am not a predator. This is a preface that needs to be emphasized. So anyways, I'm at my friend's house, and he's like, hey man, I've been checking out chat rooms lately. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do that today? And I'm like, sure. Show me what's up. So we pop on this chat room. It's so basic. I remember the screen was basically black. It was just a simple like text chat bubble, and you just punched in a random name, picked your color, picked your font. Just start typing. Just start typing. See what happens. Fucking everybody and their mother, ASL. Who's in this room? Is it all guys? Because I'm a guy. Is there all just guys here? Anyways.
ASL.
You remember that?
Anyways. You always lie.
Anyways, so we're on this chat room, and I'm kind of just like, it's almost uneventful at this point because he's just like, hey, and then we just sit there and we both just watch the screen to see what happens. ASL. And we just sit there. Like, it's such a boring thing to happen.
And just think, like, back then, you could do that for a night. The entire night, you'd be completely, like, we hung out all night, we were on chat rooms, we both played on the computer. Right? The one computer.
Do you want to go on MSN tonight? Like, that was a thing. Like, you would just sit there on chat and just chat with people
BRB. Yeah. You'd actually be coming back later.
Yeah, like, that was a thing that you would do all the time.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so I'm just, like, sitting there watching it, and I'm like, what do you do on here? Like, I asked him, like, what's the point of this? And he's like, well, I try to find girls online so I can see if I can get them to send me nudes. And as soon as he says that to me, I'm like, Ding. Sure. Sounds
This
awesome.
makes sense. I understand now.
Right? So anyways, we're sitting there, and like after like 30, 45 minutes, we get some girl like private messaging us. Let's preface this again. We think it's a girl. It could have been a fucking grown man. I to this day would have had no idea.
Yeah.
It would be much worse if it was, because of the details that will follow. But at this moment, I think it's a girl my age.
Yeah, this might have been Chris Hansen.
Anyways, so we're sitting there talking to her for a minute, and then my buddy just goes in for the kill, starts asking for nudes. And she's like, do you have MSN? And all of a sudden, we're like, whoa, like... Okay, let's see where this goes. And so we go on MSN, and she sends us a nude. Now, the reason why I said it's cringe is because if you think she was a 13-year-old girl, it's A, child porn. If it was a grown man on the other side, literally was talking to a predator. So, like...
At all... There was never a time where it was actually safe.
No, like, this was really, really messed up. Very unsafe. Yeah. Now, this is where the other thing parts... She sends us this picture, and then she's like, okay, now it's your turn. And at this point, I was immediately like, obviously that's not happening.
Yeah, we're cut.
I guess we're done here. That's what my brain was like, we're done here. No. So, even though I say it could have been a grown man, I feel like based off the way they reacted, I feel like it might have been actually a young girl our age.
Yeah.
Just because of the way they acted in response to what comes next. I feel like if it was a predator, they would have been more persistent because they've already kind of like started. But this person, they blocked us so quickly after what we pulled next. So that's the fact that leads me to believe I feel like it was actually someone that was our age. So like I said, they're asking for reciprocation, not into it. I'm ready to bounce, but my boy is like, nah, I got something. And I'm like, all right. He leaves the room, and I'm like,
I got a plan.
I'm like, all right, I'll just sit here and wait and see what the plan is. So the boy comes back in with a pack of frozen wieners. and I'm just like perplexed. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do with some Oscar Mayer wieners? Motherfucker's got a bag of hot dogs, and I got a plan. I have no idea where this is going. Like, no idea. And so, he sits back in his chair, and he angles his camera, like his webcam down at like his crotch, and he goes and he takes this fucking Oscar Mayer wieners, little hot dog, and he shoves it in his fly. And so he pops on camera, and he's stroking it. And I'm sitting there like... Because I'm like watching this, I can't keep my eyes off the little bubble that's showing like our screen, showing like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's only like a one way, like their cam wasn't on at all. And she's like saying shit like, oh yeah, baby, and other cringy things that I can't even process without gagging. But he's sitting there stroking this wiener. And like... Anyone that's ever eaten a hot dog knows that the hot dog has like a skin, right? Like that sleeve that it's in, and then outside, inside that sleeve, once that sleeve is ripped, it's just like raw meat, right? The anatomy of a hot dog. So anyways, he's got it in his, the fly of his jeans. And at one point while he's doing it, the fly hooks on the skin, and the hot dog flops over just like, and just flops in half. And I'm just like, his dick just cut in half. and so when it happens, with absolutely no hesitation or any shock, he takes his hands off and he's like, oh, sorry, 1 sec. And then he goes back on the camera. He takes out the hot dog, puts it away, grabs another one, slides it in, and keeps going. And I'm just sitting there. Backups. At this point, I've like fallen on the floor, and I blacked out for a minute because I was laughing too hard. But I just remember like he's like, "Oh, it's done," and I'm like, "What?" And I go back and look, and she's like, "What the fuck? That's not your dick! What are you doing? You're lying to me!" And then she just like blocked us and deleted us, and then it was over in like 5 seconds after that. But I just remember, like, man,
the quick thinking on him, though.
The fact that he never... Sorry. That's the thing. This whole time, I'm like, what are we doing? What's this? Why the hot dogs? Oh my god, this is crazy. What the fuck? Oh my god, why am I here? He's just like, oh, this is just what I do. Like, you've never done this? Like, what? This guy just, like, he was so casual about it the whole time. It's like, how is this my Friday night? Like,
what are we doing here?
I'm like 12.
We have to continue, like, having a sleepover after this. Like, this is the beginning of the night. We can't keep going like this.